Welcome, everyone. This is truly an exciting and thrilling day for our organization. We have the opportunity to formally welcome Travis Bazzana to the Cleveland Guardians. We've had the privilege of getting to know Travis over the last few years. And as you might know, he has an extraordinary set of accomplishments on the field. We believe he has a chance to grow into a dynamic offensive player. Travis, throughout his career, has controlled the strike zone exceedingly well, makes great contact, and over time has developed great power. We think he's got great athleticism defensively that will serve him well in his development as a major league player. And we just could not be more thrilled to welcome Travis as an athlete to the organization. But even more impressive for us, beyond his extraordinary athletic ability and his athletic accomplishments, is Travis as a person. We talked to literally dozens of people, maybe more than that, 100 people, about Travis Bazzana. And the thing that continually comes back when you talk to people about him is just what an extraordinary human being he is. He's renowned as an incredible teammate at every stop along the way. He's someone who has, from the time he was very young, taken advantage of every resource possible to develop and make himself into the player that he is today. And so it's really a privilege and an honor for us to now have the opportunity to partner with Travis on his development as a major league player. And with that, I think we'll get you a jersey and then open it up for questions. Is that good?
Sounds perfect.
Jacket off. Sorry, should give me a heads
That's
up on
all right.
that.
You know, it's the double inside button. You know? We worked on it. But... You stop shit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I think we'll open it up for some questions. Or not, if there aren't any.
Travis, what convinced you to sign with the Guardians?
Yeah, it was kind of a build up for me. During the season, I spent a lot of time just in my downtime, sort of researching the teams that were in the mix and kind of where I was supposed to be projected, I guess. And yeah, by the end of the season, I had this idea that the culture at the big league level, the young players, the intelligence of the organization, and then the consistency of winning over the past 10 years put the Guards in like such a powerful spot for me in terms of where I wanted to be. And then after my college season, meetings begin and start to kind of grasp a little more about the organizations, actually meet people like Chris. And again, I came out of those meetings with like a true gut feeling that Cleveland is where I wanted to be. And it was the org that I was going to develop into the player and person that I want to be and have a career that yeah, is where I want to be. So, I mean, I before I even really met the top of the front office with the Guardians, I had a great feeling about the organization. And then, I mean, it was just like every person I met, every philosophy they preached, and the plan ahead just clicked in my mind. And then I was happy that they felt a great way about me and we figured it all out and now I'm here. But it's just been a consistent positive idea of what I thought of this organization, and it's only continued to grow.
Is any of this sunk in yet?
I was just saying, I it's hard to like realize when it sunk in, but on the field just then, it definitely sunk in a little bit. I think like standing on the field, watching Andres, Brian, Daniel, like Jose take ground balls and just be there and talk to the like major league staff. That was like, it was definitely a set in moment. Like, wow, you know, you watch these people on TV for years. You watch Jose Ramirez highlights over and over, like since 2017, you know? And then you get out there and you get to say what's up to him. And I think that's when it sinks in a little bit. But other than that, like leading up to this, it's just been kind of a whirlwind, and you try to like put your feet down and like let it sink in, but it's hard. So I think now's about the time where it's sinking in. Yeah.
When you were playing in Australia, even I guess played pro at a really young age. Could you project from there to like where this could take you in terms of baseball?
I think at that age, I had a lot of belief in where I could take my game. But I was far from this position. I mean, I was a good player back home. I had opportunities in Australia. I was definitely one of the like top players, top juniors at that time, 15, 16 years old. But I mean, I was a long way from this kind of position. And I definitely believed that I could go to college and come out with a great opportunity in professional baseball, and hopefully be a, yeah, I was hoping I'd come out and be a first rounder, kind of at that age of 16. I thought I could go and make myself into that kind of player. And that's what I was sort of working towards. But I mean, to think like it's hard. The being the first overall pick with such a special organization is not something you really like. I don't know.
That kind of gave you that vision or that dream at 15 or 16 that some guy from Australia could go to one of the top baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about first round pick, just to do that.
Yeah. No, I think that it was kind of just I was lucky enough to have some people that made sure I set no limits on myself. And I began to kind of grasp at like 14, 15 that I wasn't gonna set any limits on where I could take it. And I was just gonna try to get better every day, and not be afraid of the tough conversations, and also not be afraid of searching for places to grow in the game and weaknesses that you could turn into strengths, you know? So I would have told you that I think I could become any kind of player at that age. And I think that belief set me off. But yeah, I was just lucky enough to have some people that allowed me to be comfortable not setting any limits and having kind of these crazy goals that people sort of like, you're a young kid and you're just a decent ball player and you have these crazy goals and aspirations. Some people want to like kind of pull that down and some don't. And I was lucky enough to have some people that allowed me to be me and have a lot of belief in myself to go out and get better.
So you've been very intentional about what you've improved every season at Oregon State. You already sort of started that process as you start pro ball, or are you going to kind of wait for that feedback?
Yeah.
Telling you what you need to get better at the next level.
Yeah. I've been the last couple of weeks been really trying to hone some things in. I'm lucky enough to have some pretty good circles in terms of like people that I can bounce that information, and it's now I'm a guardian. It's grown, and there's even more quality people and quality information that I can seek out. But yeah, I finished the season and spent some time with my family, some quality time, just kind of decompressed a little bit. But right after that, got the people that I trust to break down my season into a lot of different things, video and numbers, and figure out where's there room to improve and how can I like make that next step. And then it was, yeah, getting a wood bat back in my hands, trying to prep my body this kind of last couple of weeks leading up to be ready to go out and join an affiliate team and go play. And that was the goal as soon as I started getting back into things after the season. But yeah, we broke down my season, started to figure out where can be room, like where's my focus going to be. And then that's expanding now, like the conversations I had today with a bunch of the organization about what's the plan ahead, where are my weaknesses, where are my strengths, and how are we going to attack that day to day. And just the cohesiveness of everyone that's working towards building a World Series winning ball club is incredible. And that's part of why I wanted to be here. And they've just shown that today and previous to this, and hopefully into the future. So I'm super excited to take my game to where I can. Yeah.
What affiliate you're going to, or?
I mean, yeah, I think I'm
Good
to say. Yeah. You never know. I don't know what I can and can't say sometimes. So yeah, we talked about it today. I think I'm going to head out to Lake County, high A, and probably start, playing my first game at the end of next week sometime. but yeah, next couple days I'll be around here, hopefully work out and meet some more people, and again just start to build those relationships that are going to be growing long into the future. And then yeah, join some ex teammates and people I've played against already in high A, and hopefully yeah, take that team and go win and hopefully move into the postseason and just see where it goes. Yeah.
What's it like just having a support system on the other side of the world? And then what can you take us through like what travel is like from Sydney, Australia to
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm lucky. We're in a day and age where FaceTime's a thing. So like I can actually get some face to face. It's not just hearing a voice through the phone, but I know my family probably wishes I could get on the phone with them more often. I mean, there's a lot going on and a lot of opportunities here that take up, my focus and my time. But they're an amazing support group. They watch games at 5 a.m. in the morning because of the time difference and all kinds of things. But it's just they've been unbelievable support and always there for me. And then in terms of travel, it's not a pretty flight. It's usually you'd head from Sydney Airport to a major West Coast airport, which would be LAX or San Francisco, which is a 14-hour flight approximately. And then from there take from LA to San Fran, now across to Cleveland or wherever it would be previously, Portland. So yeah, ends up being approximately like a 20-hour travel time, and a lot of people struggle to sleep on flights. So you might be a little bit angry or like in a bad place after that 20 hours of travel.
You have any good travel tips then?
I think you got to go into the flight tired. Probably work on your mental skills, maybe like your meditation, because you need to breathe and just like relax. Because if you kind of have any tension, you're not going to sleep sitting up next to people in a 14-hour flight. But yeah, it definitely like the first time you do that flight, it's tough, but then you get better at flying. I'm sure, like, yeah, it's like a skill, I guess. Yeah.
Going off the support you mentioned for your loved ones, what does it mean? I mean, for these past few days, it just felt like a whirlwind. So to have your family and loved ones here that you can kind of keep grounded during all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they're the people that provided me the opportunities to make my way over to the US and go be me and pursue this. And I mean, it's just special that they get to be here with me and experience these amazing people. And yeah, it's just like, again, it's some of those things like being out on a major league field with your son or your nephew, like watching him witness me seeing my dreams play out, I'm sure it's pretty cool for them, but they've just played such a large role in that and always kept me grounded, as you said, to keep moving forward and not ride the highs and lows, just make the right decisions and move forward.
Why baseball?
Why
You
baseball?
played so many sports
Yeah.
in high school. How did you land on baseball, especially in Australia?
I'm not sure what he's talking about. I'm guessing this, is that it? There you go. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. No worries. Why baseball? From a young age, I was like playing multiple different sports. Like in the backyard, I was hitting tennis balls off a tee. Then my mom was bowling me cricket balls, and I was at the park kicking a soccer ball. And then I was also at the field playing touch rugby with my buddies. Like I was doing everything, but for some reason, like by the time I was in school and had some kind of social and friend groups, like my identity was like I was the baseball kid, and I brought that on. Like I did all these other things and enjoyed doing that with my friends, but my passion was always in baseball. And I don't remember a time where I wasn't ever like obsessing over the game and wanting to be at the field. It was like those other sports were great enjoyment to me and hobbies, and I enjoyed being around with my friends, but baseball was like I always had a drive and a passion, like let's go hit. It was just for some reason that's the game just attracted me. And I wanted to be around it as much as possible. But I mean, it started super young, and I couldn't explain why. I was hardly conscious at the age that I had a passion for baseball. 4 or 5 years old. I mean, yeah.
Travis, you've done a lot of things with baseball, but you've never had the number one pick until now. Just wonder how you felt having that. I mean, maybe even just one of mine.
Yeah.
Of all things, I don't want to mess up the number one pick.
Yeah, I think we looked at it as an extraordinary opportunity for us as an organization to bring in an individual that we think can help impact us at the major league level. And, you know, if you were to ask me, you know, a month ago, what our dream scenario would be, it would be, and again, I've shared the importance for us of bringing in a great group of players with the totality of the draft, and have Travis Bazzana be a big part of that was an ideal scenario for us. And so we looked at this as a extraordinary opportunity, and we feel what we ended up getting to a great outcome by welcoming Travis.
When did you settle on him?
Travis has always been in the mix for us in terms of the selection, and I had a chance to go see him in a really cold Salt Lake City. You remember that line drive at the left center field? And so it was an awesome opportunity for us as an organization to get to know Travis. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge like literally thousands of hours that people from across the organization spent in getting to know Travis, from our amateur scouting group to our analysts to our group in player development. You know, we went as far back with Travis as like we have video of him playing some of those cricket games back in Australia. So we knew him pretty well, as we did with a number of the other guys. But we had to line some things up, and a big part of that was, you know, understanding what Travis's interests were, and his team at Excel Sports Management, Casey Close and Chase Brewer and David O'Hagan, who are here today, did an extraordinary job in partnering with us to make that a reality. But I think it came together about 20 minutes or so before 20 minutes before the draft started. So I think that's when we realized it could become a reality.
Travis, what does it mean, your selection, what does it mean for Australia baseball, but for you to be like a torchbearer now for the game in the country? Nobody else in A-ball or double A or in the majors has that on the point.
Yeah. I mean, I started to kind of realize, I think 12 to 18 months ago, what kind of opportunity I had to sort of take that torch and be the first, like, to kind of do this out of college. I mean, we've had major leaguers, we've had a couple great major leaguers, but this is like a new path, and the college game brings a lot of attention, and we're in a day and age where the next Travis Bazzana, the next kid back home can watch me when I have a good night at the plate or make a cool play on defense. Like, they've been able to see my journey at Oregon State. And I realized like this upcoming draft is a stepping stone, and it's an opportunity to where I can really grow the way Australians look at sports, grow the way they look at baseball. So it's like the media never talks about what the Australians are doing in baseball in America. So that's step one. But then also just trying to build a powerhouse country, baseball. I'd love to go out to a World Baseball Classic one day or the Olympics and have a group of major leaguers that can go and compete with Team USA, Team Japan, the Dominican Republic. Like that's a dream of mine, and it's going to take years, but I hope that the impact I'm having now and the way I give back and present myself provides belief for the next generation of Australian kids, and also just allows sport fans back home to become Guardians fans and actually pay attention to some Major League Baseball. So it's an opportunity, and I just want to grasp it, and I feel no pressure with it. I'm just going to take it and do what I do, and it's super exciting.
Travis, was it being the number one pick, was that real important to you?
I mean, I understood the impact it could have for like the reason I do what I do, and I knew it could send a positive wave through Australia. But realistically, when it came down to it, I was trying to be in a place where I thought I could flourish. It was the same thing like when getting recruited to colleges. I was trying to find a place where I could flourish, and those decisions come up as a 16-year-old, and now it's like it's like there's a lot of variables that go into like making a decision and getting picked by a team, but I wanted to be in a place where I felt like I could flourish, and the people here and the culture on the field, and the identity of the way the Guardians play the game, was just like, this is where I'm going to flourish. And then there's a lot of other things that go into being that pick, but going first overall wasn't the reason I like wanted to agree to deal with the Guardians. This is the organization I wanted to be in. So yeah.
When did you hear like they were like, what did you say, Chris, 20 minutes before or whatever?
Yeah.
When did you hear that, okay, this is getting serious?
Yeah. So I think like I had an idea that before the season, I'd say that like Chris would know more exact numbers, but I had an idea like the Guardians liked who I was as a player a while back. And then after the season, I was like, I had a good season. I'm sure they still like me as a player. And I know that their scouting department had paid a lot of attention and spent a lot of quality time getting to know me as a person, and also just seeing the way I go about my business and learning about me, calling people, just trying to build that information. And I heard about that. So I was like, all right, the Guardians still like, they're paying attention, and I'm somewhere in the mix. And then I met with the front office in Progressive, and I left there feeling like the way it went, I felt like the organization really liked what they saw from me, and I really liked what I saw from them. So I had a good feeling, I think a couple weeks out from the draft, that I was going to be in the mix to get some kind of phone call on the day. And then, yeah, put my trust in my great agents to sort of do the best they can do. But they knew I wanted to be a guard, and yeah, the most surreal moment of this all was 25 minutes out from the pick, being at Oregon State and having my agent say he's going to get Chris on the phone, and we're going to agree to a deal. And Chris welcomed me, said he's excited to take me, and I was just like, wow, that was when it hit me. And then I went up and enjoyed the moment with my friends and family. But yeah, it was a special moment. I knew there was interest, but it kind of came to light within the kind of couple hours leading up. And then also just the biggest point was that 20-minute mark before, I'd say.
Yeah, it had something to do with you maybe signing on the slot.
What did have something to do with that?
Just the feeling you had with the Guardians.
100%. I mean, like the slot at one was $10.7 million, and no one was going to reach slot value this year. But I mean, like, yeah, I wanted to be a Guardian, and we worked through that and got to a number that was right. And yeah, totally happy with it. And I mean, yeah, I was never going to get slot, but anyway, yeah, I wanted to be here, and we got to an agreement.
Travis, you mentioned that, baseball has been your love for a long time. How did that manifest as like a fan? Like, how did you follow the game when you were younger, and how did that change when you came to Oregon State?
Yeah.
You mentioned doing research of the teams as you got closer to becoming a pro, but
yeah,
how have you kind of consumed the game?
It's funny. I always found it really hard to be a fan of a team, because all I wanted to do was just like watch the best players and like support what they were doing. So I'd always my best friends from when I was young, like they would tell you I'd switch teams, because I'd would like a player so much, or there'd be Australians. Like, anyway, I got to a point where there was an opening series. When I was young, where the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers came to Sydney, and the Dodgers were better than the Diamondbacks at that point. So I was like, Dodgers bandwagon, jumped on it. And then came to the US, and like, I mean, I've just been a fan of great baseball, and yeah, spent some time in Seattle. I enjoyed watching games out there. That was like the majority of the big league games I've ever been able to watch. But again, I've just always been a fan of great baseball, and now a fan and part of this incredible organization. So I can't wait to get
Glad
started.
you don't have to switch jerseys
Yeah.
anymore. You can
Yeah.
keep that one on.
Lock it in.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.